Hi there. Thank you for watching this. And I'm Carla Mortede, and I will be speaking today about how Facebook can influence our eating habits and well being. This research was conducted some time ago, but I still think that it's quite useful to share these results with people since we know that social media use is skyrocketing in the last years. So we know that social media is prevalent and it's part of our daily activities and it's related with countless activities such as getting informed about the local and global news, exposure to advertising, communication with friends, and even seeking information about brands and other social affairs. In general, we may say that social media is changing and redefining the way people perceive and respond and engage with the world in itself. But at the same time, we can say that social media has a strong potential for social influence and conformity among social media users. So it's quite interesting to know how social media is impacting the way people is behaving in the real world. We should also think about how people well-being is being impacted, not just the way they behave with other information and with other human beings. So at the moment, it remains unclear how social media impacts individuals in daily activities and well-being. There is some research that points that the way we interact with social media is going to impact our well-being, although it depends on the way we use it. So if we use social media in an active way, it means that I'm going to be posting and messaging other people. There is an evidence that social media use can be nice to increase my well-being. Although, if I'm a passive user of social media like scrolling, that is associated with the opposite effect. So that can have a detrimental effect on my well being. In this research, specifically, we are interested in learning about how social media can impact our feed behavior. Because in social media, we are constantly being impacted with food images, restaurants, brands, food and other beverages brands that can be doing their content in their social media platforms. We know that the research is still scarce, but we already know that social media has an impact on the way people perceive food, towards their food attitudes, and behavior towards food. When food content is somehow related with the phenomenon of missing out, we know that individuals show a tendency to try to consume a specific brand or product that is being advertised as something that is scarce in the market. We had recently this phenomenon with the chocolate of Dubai, where people try to buy and try this product because they were afraid of missing the opportunity to try something that was being advertised as something that is quite new, nice, and pleasurable. Although, when something like this happens, we have to think that this may be something that may have an impact on well being on the users. So, in this study, we are trying to understand how social media can impact our well being, and at the same time, we want to understand if the social media content, when it's related with food, can in fact be a driver of our feed behavior. We know already that the social media use can be something that is related with our well-being. Just don't know exactly in what terms and in what extension, but there is some research that already show that this increase in the well-being that appears to happen after the use of these Facebook interactions, they may be related with an increasing adoption of risky behaviors such as eating food that is not so healthy for ourselves. Well, we just ran an online survey close to 459 participants. Most of our sample are females and they are young adults. This is a convenience sample. Of course, this has some limitations, but I think we still have some interesting results that we would like to share. So, as I said in the beginning, we are interested in knowing how the food content information that appears in the social media platforms can impact the way we consume products. So we think that when someone follows a food brand page, So when they do the like in that page, we are expecting that there is an increase in the chances of consuming products from those brands at least once a week. And in terms of subjective well being and self esteem, we are expecting that when someone uses the Facebook, there is an increase in their well being. So there is a lot of different reasons to use Facebook, but from our research, we could see that 76% of our individuals use Facebook in a daily basis, and 50% of them spend something like 60 minutes per day on Facebook. There are several reasons that are pointed out to use Facebook on such a daily basis and with such an extension. And the most important reasons are talking with friends and family, staying up with the daily events and global events, search for information, and even look for information related with brands and with healthy lifestyles and habits, and so on. Well, in terms of results, we can see that there is in this graph an increase in the probability of conception of brands that our users have done the like in their brand's Facebook page. So we can see that brands like Nespresso, Superboc, Coca-Cola, Small Lipton, and so on, when they have a like in their own page, these users that did the like probably will consume this brand at least once a week. So this exposure to the brand's content may be something that can drive the consumption of these products. In terms of well being, we know that the use of Facebook on a daily basis can be something that can impact the well being in our users. And we know that when someone uses the Facebook at least 4 days a week, they have a tendency to report stronger levels of well being compared with the people that do not use the Facebook so often. Although these results are stronger, particularly among the individuals that use Facebook for daily activities like sharing information with friends, messaging friends and colleagues, and so on. So, when it's something that is related with social activities and communication with a group of friends, it's something that it's going to be stronger in terms of well being. Well, in terms of results, we can say that apparently liking a page that it's food related and it's specific from a brand, there is an increase in the likelihood to increase the consumption of these brands at least once a week. In terms of well being, the things are not so clear, but apparently there's this tendency to have an increase in our well being, especially when we are active users in Facebook. That means that we are messaging and sharing information with other people, especially friends and family. Of course, this study has some limitation. The first of all, it's the fact that we engaged in a convenience sample, although we should start thinking that may be also useful for future to run exactly the same study or something similar to this study, but on other platforms like Instagram and now TikTok. But at the same time, we should be starting to think that would be nice to have longitudinal studies so we could really have um, a grasp on how Facebook information and TikTok information, Instagram information, how people interact with those platforms can in fact impact their well-being in the way they feed themselves and their families. So thank you for this. And in case of you have some questions, I will be happy to answer. Thank you very much.